Hello, folks. You ever go and buy like a car or truck or whatever product it is, and you buy that particular product, and next thing you know, a month later or 6 months down the line, you find out that that particular product is new and improved, or it might have some different type of doohickey or some type of a new fancy gadget that's on there. Well, that's what kind of happened to me. This is my favorite go to war firearm. It's my SIG 226 TacOps. It's one of my favorites because it has a four magazines with 20 round capacity. But however, they came out a little bit later on with the 226 and 229 versions of these pistols, and they had the RX version, which had the Romeo One red dot on it. And since I love this pistol so much, I wanted to have a Romeo One red dot on there. So what do you do in that case? Well, this is what I did. I got the 6 hour Caliper Exchange Kit. Now, you're probably saying Caliper Exchange Kit. Well, this kit is actually designed for people who have the 6 hour pistols that are either 22 caliber, or they probably had the SIG, that caliber, the SIG 357 SIG caliber, or maybe the 40 Smith& Wesson caliber. And what you could do is you can buy the slide, and it already comes with a Romeo One Optic. And I'm just going to do what I'm calling a fake unboxing, because I already went through here just to make sure all the items were here. And the reason why I say a fake unboxing is because this is locked when you first get it, and it comes and you have to break the tab. So full disclosure on that, because I don't want anybody calling me out on that. Uh, there we go. I opened the box upside down and it fell out. But here it is. It comes with one magazine, 15 round 9mm magazine. And it also comes with a slide and the Romeo One Optic on here. Some of the other things you'll get your CR1632 lithium 3-volt battery, which it's already installed. Of course, the lubricants that they get you is called Spec 1. And what I found interesting is they send you another manual, the same manual that you already had, just I guess maybe in case you lost it or something like that. But they send you another manual of the firearm, plus you get two cards and two things, tubes of Spec 1. And as you see, the Romeo One fits in this case here. Let me move some of this out of the way real quick. And like I said, it does come with a 15 round 9mm magazine. And I'm going to show clear, because I don't usually have these firearms loaded. But this is a 20 round magazine from the TacOps version. Now, if you notice the TacOps version, there's this little beveled magwell that's made into the grip. Now, this is a 15 round magazine, and you notice that the length is going to be a little different. The magazine will work, but it still looks kind of goofy being in there, but better to have an extra magazine, and then I'll take it. So so that magazine will work. And here is your Romeo One Optic that's with the slide and the barrel and the recoil spray. As you see, it's greasy. 6 Hour loves to grease up their products when they ship them. It doesn't matter what firearm it is, pretty much. Now, if you notice, these are pretty good sights on here. They're more like suppressor height sights, so you can co-witness with the Romeo One dot here. And if you notice on the firearm here, these are good sights. These have the tritium sights here, and I pretty much like these sights anyway. But what you do is all you have to do. I'm going to, like I said, it's going to show clear. I forgot to do that, but as you see, it's empty. What you do is you break it down like any other SIG Classic line, and you see here there's the spring, which is nothing new. You can tell I've been shooting this a lot because compared to this is the Romeo One version right here. You can see that it's kind of compressed a bit from usage that I've been doing with my shooting. So everything is basically the same. You just get your barrel, you get your guide rod, and of course uh, your slide. But the difference is the slide is cut out for that Romeo One Optic, and it's just very simple. You just like you did with your regular slide, you just place that in there, lock back, make sure it's locked in, and there you have it. Adds a decent look to it, to the firearm. I might get like maybe an X300 light here and put it on here so it really look good. I'm putting the magazine in for just for aesthetics. But yeah, this Romeo One looks very good on here. Let me see if I could turn it on. I did turn it on earlier because I wanted to at least. All right, now I'm not sure if you can see the dot being on. I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm going to try to put it up on the target. And it's probably not going to cooperate. There you go. I don't know how well you can see that because my camera's acting funny and I'm not facing the dot like it should be. But I wanted another firearm that had a red dot on it. Basically a pistol with a red dot. And I only have it on my Glock 41, which was the MOS. And that particular one had a Vortex Venom, which I like Vortex sights and optics. So I wanted to have another firearm that had an optic, particularly another pistol, especially that's in 9mm. Let me see if I can cut that off. Okay. One of the things you can do with this when you put it in the on position is that if you lay it down for X amount of time, I got to get the figures. I'm sorry, I don't have the figures. But if you lay the firearm down for X amount of time, what will happen is when you pick it up, because it has this sensor called MOTAC, and the MOTAC sensor, what it will do is it will turn the optic on. Now you do not have to worry about using the off and on switch. Because what happens is it will cut off by itself and it will stay off. One thing this has an advantage of over, let's say, my Vortex Venom is you have to turn it on each time that you want to use it. Now, if you're in a situation where you're carrying this, let's say maybe for a competition or maybe you have a holster big enough to carry this behemoth, all you would have to do is just draw and then your optic is on. But I have to read up on this because I've realized that I can cut it off. I don't know if this is a later version or not, but it seems like I can cut it off. I'm sorry I didn't get any shooting results. Like I don't usually do any live shooting, but I usually have the targets up. But I wanted to do the targets at another time. I just was wanted to show this out there. I was a little excited, but the only thing I'm going to say here is just with you have the up and down for brightness here. You have what I love about the Vortex and what the SIG has done is with the top load battery compartment here. You see an area for adjustment for windage and elevation. This is your elevation and your windage on this side. Um, they make a lot of this very convenient because you don't want to be taking apart a firearm and you have to load it a different way. Then they just make it convenient so you can just load the battery from the top. There are other things about this optic, and I'm going to give you a negative that I've heard about this optic, and I went with this anyway. The negative that I've heard was on another video I saw. This guy picked up his 226 and he put it at shoulder length, and when he put it at shoulder length, he dropped it on cement, and actually the glass had shattered. Now, this is after he did several rounds of shooting, and he's also racked the slide using the optic on a table, you name it. That's what he did. But at a shoulder length height, he dropped this, and when he dropped it, and it shattered the whole thing, and which was pretty crazy. So it makes you kind of think that when the military was going with the M17, they would not allow this particular optic. And I think that was one of the reasons, if at least from the information I have. I'm not sure that it failed like a battery of tests. So that's why they went with the Leopold Delta Point, which supposedly is supposed to be a tougher optic. So I'm not planning to be racking this optic on a table or anything like that. I'm not planning to drop it, but crap happens. But my sole intention is to have this as a good optic for the range, and possibly maybe home defense. Maybe if I put the X300 on here, but even if I don't even have to worry about the optic. I have the sights here as the backup sight, so that works perfect because they're co-witnessed. The only other thing I want to mention is there's your tool. It does come with a tool, so you can make the adjustments for height and windage, and also a lot of people say, well, you're buying this and you bought this particular slide just for the optic, and that is true. But I don't think it's a loss. It's what I wanted to have on here. I want something to match out. I did not want to send this particular slide out and have it to go get milled and possibly do, you never know what will happen if it gets damaged, if you try to ship it out or whatnot. But at least this is done by the company and it's set to their specs and it's their optic. So I'm looking forward to taking this to the range. And I'm just going to pretty much, since this is a new barrel, I'm just going to be breaking this in along with the springs and so forth, and breaking it in. Usually with the SIG Classic line, you don't have a problem. That's why I buy the Classic lines a lot, because they are just that much durable. And this slide, I'll give this a slide a rest, or maybe if I have things to do, maybe I'm going to use this in a situation where the optic is not good for that particular situation. I still have this slide as well, and it's already has its components. But I'm looking forward to having fun with this tomorrow. So just thank you for your time and happy shooting. #2A.